Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Police Headquarters. My name is Gary Grant. I'm the chair of Toronto Crime Stoppers. Thank you. Thank you for coming to celebrate Crime Stoppers Month. I'm honored to MC this event. Today, we're joined by His Worship, Mayor John Tory, Chief of Police, Mark Saunders, both of whom will be speaking to you. Before we start, I want to recognize a few special guests who have joined us. I want to first recognize all my fellow board members, Crime Stoppers office staff, led by Detective Chris Shirk, and our Crime Stoppers volunteers. Without your dedication and commitment to the Crime Stoppers program, I wouldn't be able to stand here today touting our successes of the past year. I'd also like to welcome, where are they? The grade 4 students from Market Lane Junior and Senior Public School. You know, getting children in schools involved in the Crime Stoppers program is always a priority for us, and we're happy that you could all join us today and meet our grade 4 students. This morning is an opportunity to reflect on the success of 2015 and let you know what our plans are for 2016. But before we get into too many details, I want to call on Mayor John Tory to offer greetings and remarks. Mayor Tory?
Well, Gary and Chief Saunders, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I am here together with my colleague from City Council, Chin Lee, and we're both members of the Toronto Police Services Board, and we're both representing today Chair Andy Pringle, who couldn't be here, but very much wanted us to send along his greetings and congratulations to Crime Stoppers, together with all the other members of the Police Services Board. I want to acknowledge as well the presence here of Greg Spearn, who's the CEO of Canada Mortgage and Housing of the Toronto. He's got enough challenges on his hands with the Toronto Community Housing Corporation, and of course works very closely with the police service and with the city government. And of course I want to acknowledge, as always, Chief Saunders, who does such a great job for us year in and year out. Now, I was a little bit confused because there was this comic book that was handed out here that had Captain Canuck on the front cover and a special edition for Crime Stoppers, and I always thought, and the chief in fact told me, he was Captain Canuck. And so I was trying to make sense of all this, but perhaps when he gets up to give his remarks, he will explain all of that. I want to acknowledge as well my longtime friend and himself, a distinguished public servant when he was with the police service, Gary Grant, who today continues to serve the public as the chair of Crime Stoppers. I want to acknowledge as well and thank the members of the Crime Stoppers Board, and of course to extend thanks as well to the team at Crime Stoppers. It's a tiny but mighty team led by Detective Chris Shirk, and I want to say thank you to them for what they do. I was asked earlier today about Crime Stoppers because this is the beginning of Crime Stoppers Month and because we were having this event. And I said, and I have a long history going back probably 25 or 30 or even more years in the early days of the Crime Stoppers program. As long as it's existed, I was called upon back then to help raise a bit of money for what was then a fledgling program. And I believed in it then, as I believe in it today. Because first of all, of course, we all know one of the prized assets, one of the most precious assets, one of the most precious attributes of our city is that it is safe. It has been safe. It is safe, and it will continue to be safe. And that's a lot because of the people and how the people learn to live with each other and, in fact, come here committed to living with each other. It's a lot about the excellence of our police service and excellence both past, present, and future. But it's also because those two groups of people, the police and the public, have engaged with each other. Have engaged with each other not just day to day on the streets and in the parks and in the neighborhoods and so on, but have also engaged with each other in terms of helping each other to do the jobs that they have to do. And Crime Stoppers has been for many years now an essential element of that integration of the work that the police and the community have to do together to maintain a safe city. And it's a fairly simple program if you think about it. It just really allows people on an anonymous basis, because in some cases people have reasons to remain anonymous that would be well understood. In other cases it's just because people don't want to get involved, but on the other hand they do want to get involved in maintaining a safe city. And this program has always allowed them to do both, to be involved in maintaining and keeping a safe city and making sure people are brought to justice who are interfering with a safe city, but at the same time doing so in a way that allows them not to get involved. And the success of the program speaks for itself. Thousands of arrests, millions of dollars of property return, crimes that have been solved because of the involvement of the Crime Stoppers program and the place that people have to go on an anonymous basis to contribute information. And information is I've learned in my time on the Police Services Board, the lifeblood of effective policing. The more the police know, the better they can do their jobs in terms of especially dealing with the criminal element and with criminal acts. And so I just want to say this is an important program. I hope that the public will always feel a responsibility, and that they will feel that it's something that's just second nature to them to cooperate with the police and to help the police, whether it's directly as much as possible or indirectly through programs like Crime Stoppers. I hope the public will similarly feel a happiness in contributing to the Crime Stoppers program. It needs donations in order to keep it going, to keep it properly funded. And I hope that people will recognize the value of this program, in addition to the work of our police service, as integral to maintaining the safe city that is such a treasure to us, and that is something we must never let slip beyond our grasp. So thank you to Crime Stoppers. Congratulations on a job which continues to be well done to the Crime Stoppers team. Thank you to everybody who volunteers and to the members of the public who make the program work. And good luck, and here's hoping for another year of success, both in terms of keeping the city safe and in terms of garnering the kind of support from the public that's needed to keep this program healthy and going. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Tory, and best of luck to you in 2016 with your endeavors to continue to make Toronto a better and safer place to live. Building on what the mayor said about the public and the police working together, the third integral part of Crime Stoppers, any Crime Stoppers program at all, and without any of these three parts, there couldn't be a Crime Stoppers program, and that's our friends and partners in the media, who I'm pleased to see are out here in great numbers today. And without you promoting that Crime Stopper number and promoting, highlighting crimes that we want to have solved, and all the support you give us, we wouldn't be able to perform as well as we do either. So thank you, media. I'd like next to call on our Chief of Police, Mark Saunders, to bring his greetings and his remarks. Chief?
Mayor Tory, Chair Lee, President Spearn, President Forster, Richard and Fadi, creators of Captain Canuck, senior officers, chief cousins, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. First off, thank you so much for coming to headquarters. We are so proud of this building. Anytime we have an opportunity to promote anything here is a good day, so thank you so much for coming. And before I begin, I just want to say to you, Gary, there's no need to rush for your car. It was in my spot, and I've towed it already. So. But I'm here to talk a bit on Crime Stoppers and what it does to this city, and the influence and the impact that it has for the city of Toronto, as Toronto is the safest urban city in North America. Crime Stoppers is a direct reason for that. But Crime Stoppers doesn't work because of elves. It works because we have a tremendous executive. And first off, I want to say to you, Gary, thank you. Gary is iconic with Crime Stoppers. You've been involved for I don't know how many years, but you've been doing a fantastic job. And so I want to publicly thank you for that. And to the executive, you put in so many hours and you have so much creativity, because as society evolves, you have to continuously reinvent your processes in making Crime Stoppers successful. And that is what you do. And I know it takes time and effort and coordination, but you do a fantastic job, which is why it is so successful. So thank you to the executive and also to the staff of Crime Stoppers. You know, the question on whether or not Crime Stoppers is successful, anyone in any community that has any type of knowledge of Crime Stoppers knows that it works. It is one of the most successful programs when it comes to enhancing community safety. This year alone, we had close to 9,000 tips, which led to hundreds of arrests and over $7 million worth of drugs and guns and all kinds of things. And I know that Gary will talk in more definitive numbers, but it just shows its success. But there's a key to its success. And the key to the success is the fact that we have citizens that care. That's what separates Toronto from so many other cities. People that care. Crime Stoppers works when people call. If you don't call, there's no success. And the success is the people calling in and giving that information to Crime Stoppers, which then in turn allows us to process that information and then make these effective arrests. So I applaud the citizens, and I'll also echo what the mayor said. Yes, I'm going to thank the media. Thank you so much for your support, because you are the driving force with getting the message out there, especially when it correlates with Crime Stoppers. So I thank you for all of those things. You know, this year, the 2016, as we launch off, this is going to be a different year because we have Captain Canuck. And Captain Canuck is going to be part of an in-school program right across the entire city. And it's going to be driven through the Toronto Community Housing as an education and awareness program. And so I'm looking forward to the impact that it is going to have. And I also want to thank Richard and Fadi once again. And to the mayor's point, he thought that I was Captain Canuck, and really I was not. I'm Spider-Man. So I just thought I'd clear the myth right now in case anyone has any concerns. But on behalf of the Toronto Police Service, thank you for all of your contributions in helping keeping the community safe. Thank you, Crime Stoppers. It is a fantastic program. We endorse it, we support it, and we will always work as partners. You are not connected to us directly. It is important that the public knows that when you call, it is anonymous. We, as a police agency, do not get any personal identifiers. I will say that. People say that it's not true. It is true. And if it wasn't true, and I'm saying it, then we would be putting ourselves in a liable state. So when I say that we do not get subscriber information, we do not get subscriber information. It is anonymous, and that is one of the strong factors that makes it successful. So thank you so much for being here, and let's make 2016 another fantastic year for the Crime Stoppers program. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you for Toronto Police Service's ongoing support. As both guests have mentioned, the value our community partners bring to the Crime Stoppers program is second to none. Without the commitment of those who have a sincere desire to keep our city safe, we would not be able to educate as many members of the public as we do. Much of this success can be attributed on the ongoing working relationship we have with DDB Canada, who does many of our fantastic marketing. They do all of our fantastic marketing work. So I'd like Rico and his team from DDB just to give a wave and be recognized. DDB Canada, where are you, Rico? There you go. They're a world-renowned advertising agency, and their talented staff have created numerous award-winning campaigns for us over the years, and we are very thankful for that. Kids, how are you doing? Are you ready? Do you want to have recess before we go on? Okay, all right, we'll continue. All right. Another significant partnership worth mentioning is that, very excited about, not just worth mentioning, we're very excited about it, is our partnership with Toronto Community Housing. Continuing into 2016, Crime Stoppers representatives will be doing joint information sessions with Toronto Community Housing and their residents. Along with the signs you see here today, we will be significantly expanding our reach into the communities and empowering residents to do their part for safe neighborhoods. And you know what? That promise of anonymity that the Chief spoke about, and which is very true, may be encouraging those people to come forward. I'd like to ask Toronto Community Housing President and CEO, Greg Spearn, to stand up and be recognized for your commitment. Greg? And thank you for your support for Crime Stoppers. I would like to mention particularly to our friends in the media, that Greg, myself, Chris Shirk, our detective coordinator who has all the stats, will be willing and able to chat with you later if you do want to do a one-on-one thing to get more information about today, about our statistics, about anything to do with Crime Stoppers, about our partnership. So we'll be here to chat with you if you desire. Finally, I'd like to introduce a brand new initiative for us and all Crime Stoppers programs. Some of you may be familiar with Captain Canuck, and you've never seen Captain Canuck and the Chief in the same place at the same time. But today you will. Due to the leadership of the Ontario Association of Crime Stoppers and Mac's Convenience Stores. By the way, where's Mac's people? I want to give a shout out to the Mac's people as well. Where are you? Anyway, thanks to those people, Captain Canuck now has a new character, the Crime Stopper. The antics of Captain Canuck and the Crime Stopper have been written into an exclusive edition of the Captain Canuck series of comic books. And what I would like to ask their creators, Richard Comely and Fadi Hakim, as well as President of the OACS, Dave Forster, to stand and be recognized and thanked. I will say that this is one of the coolest things that I've ever been involved with Crime Stoppers, and the chief didn't know exactly how long, but it's 1984 I've been involved since. And the Captain Canuck was only a private at that time. He hadn't even risen to the ranks of captain. But thank you for what you do. And Dave, thank you for stewarding that through on behalf of the Ontario Association of Crime Stoppers. Now, but we have some bad news. Captain Canuck was scheduled to be here today, but unfortunately he had to cancel at the last minute. But he made sure that his comic books were delivered here for you today. And he's also available free of charge at any participating Max Milks Crime Stoppers programs. Oh my God, he's here! Oh, Captain Canuck, you surprised us all. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you everyone for joining us here today. All of our special guests, as I said, are available to the media, and I would encourage you to stay and get your photo taken with Captain Canuck and the chief together and get your own Crime Stopper comic book, signed by Richard and Fadi. Everybody can be a superhero by calling Crime Stoppers. Thank you.